What is up, everybody? Thanks for joining me once again on another video. Today, I guess what finally came in. Those are the traction arms that I've been waiting on. So, I don't know if I'm gonna completely install them today. That was like 4 or 5 weeks in the making to get those damn things because no one has those in stock apparently, because I don't know, you need a part. Why the hell would it come in when you need it? But got a couple things I wanted to do to the car. I know I'm gonna get an alignment anyway, but I might actually pull in this wheel a little bit. If you look at the wheels a little bit, I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell, this one doesn't have as much negative camber as the driver's side. So I'm actually going to pull that one in a little bit on the passenger side, and I do want to lower it a little bit more because on the passenger side, I don't know why that one's so much higher, but if you look on the driver's side here, you got like tires like right there. Then if you look on this side, actually it looks a little better. Yeah, so never mind on that one. I guess the car wasn't level before. I did take the wheel off and crank the coil down a little bit this past weekend. I think Monday. I did it on Monday. I just kind of eyeballed and I did it, so that one worked out. Got to do the trailing arms. I don't know why I keep calling them trailing arms. I got to do the traction arms, and I got to do. I guess that's it. I mean, I was gonna pull this in a little bit, but like I said, I'm getting an alignment. Maybe I'll mess with the toe a little bit. And one more thing that I kind of wanted to attempt to do, because the front coils are seized on both sides. Actually, I know one of them was seized. I definitely remember one was seized. And maybe I didn't try the other side, because if I can't lower both of them, why touch it at all? But the lock collars on the rear are definitely seized. So I'm gonna mess with them a little bit, try to get them unstuck. I don't know if it's gonna do anything, because I do remember my coils were even, and then after I did the arms, they didn't look as even, so maybe something happened. I don't know. So if you look at the rear coil, these top ones, it doesn't matter because you're really never supposed to touch those. You don't adjust height by that. You really just have to worry about this lock collar right here. You would loosen that, and then you could basically grab the entire coil and just spin it whichever way you want. So you would spin it this way. You would grab with the spanner wrench on this side and pull towards you to lower it, and then you would do the opposite, grab it on that side and pull this way to raise it. So like I said, it's not a big deal that the top ones are seized, but that lock collar is seized. So that's not something you really want seized. You want to be able to lock the coil in place. So I'm gonna mess with that. I'll spray it down with some WD-40 on both sides because it's like that on both. And then I gotta look into the fronts. Update for you. I've been messing around with these coils just a little bit. I WD-40'd them, let them sit a little bit. The rears, the lock collars, not moving. I was actually just thinking that since these are BC coils, I think you could get the stuff like the lock rings and stuff. So if I could even get 2 more lock rings for the back, I could really just take the coil apart, put a new lock ring on, leave the seized one on, and then I have a new lock ring. So that's in my mind, thinking about that. I might actually go look on their website in a little bit, because I know they have like rebuild kits and you could get like certain shit for the coils. I just remember what was wrong with the fronts when I started messing with them. The front, the lock collar can be undone because I undid it on both sides. It's the entire coil itself which is seized. So I gotta think of a way of doing this. Maybe if I even just take the spanner wrench and maybe put like a breaker bar on it. I don't know if that's a little overkill, and just see if I could just crank it, because really all you gotta do is like crack it loose and then you should be decent. While I'm in here, I might actually take like sandpaper and a little block and try to clean that off. The Nissan, a little dark, but try to clean that off. But I don't know if that's gonna rust. I mean, I feel like it might rust, but I do want to repaint them eventually. So I might just forced me to do that sooner. So sprayed the traction arm, the stock ones, the bolts with WD-40, so I'll let that sit a little bit. I did have one end of them off. I don't know if I had it on both sides, but definitely the passenger side, I had one end of it off already, so that bolt should be no problem. Don't know if I'm gonna do that today. I got like about an hour till I gotta leave for work. So I might just mess with these coils because I do want to drop the front a little bit because that's been bothering me. It's been annoying me a little bit with how high it is, so if I drop the front a little bit, I'll make that work. Then I'm in no rush to get new coils. Not that I was really in a rush to get coils, but I'll be a lot more okay with it. Actually, before I put this, I'm gonna give it a shot. Before I put the bar on the spanner wrench, I'm actually gonna take a measurement to see how far I am from probably from like here to like here, two known points that aren't gonna change. So just in case it does crack loose, I have a before measurement to go off of, and I could lower it to a new measurement. Probably just gonna go down like a 1/2 inch in the front for now. So yeah, probably just a 1/2 inch. All right, so that's super simple. I'm at 3 inches. So if I can crack it loose, we're gonna go down to 2.5 and go from there. Wish me luck. Now, I don't want to go too crazy with this because the ride height it's not like monster truck height, and I could live with it. I'll insert a picture here. As you see, the front's not really like ridiculously high, but it'd be nice if I could kind of match the front and the rear. The only problem with that is I don't rub in the front right now, and if I lower it, I might rub. So it's a little game we're playing. That moved a little bit, but the whole shock didn't move, so gotta grab on again. Yeah, so no good. Can't get it to focus. Yep, there you go. Fantastic. So yeah, I would go with that seized. I guess it's not worth it to even attempt it on the other side, because if that side cracks loose, I could raise and lower it, but this side is still fucked, so I don't know. Alright, so change of plan. I guess I'm gonna attempt to sand these high spots. And they're a little fucked up too, so it's probably not even gonna come out that good, but just gonna throw a little tape down so I don't completely destroy everything on it. I'm gonna get yourself a block of wood. A smaller one than this would probably be a little bit better, but let me try this. So I had a change of plans today. As you saw, I did the logos on my brakes, and those will probably corrode at some point, but I also want to repaint them. Like, it almost looks like they were red at one point and someone sprayed them black, so like flat black. So I'm gonna do I'll eventually paint those. What I was doing instead, I have for a little while I've had an HKS blow-off valve, so I was having trouble getting it to go on the adapter that I bought. I bought some eBay adapter, and I was having a little trouble getting it on there. But as you see, it's on. The first time I did it, I was actually driving and I hit full boost and the blow-off valve blew off because it wasn't on correctly. Hopefully we're good now. I'm gonna throw the stock one is gonna go in the trunk in my little bag of like extras, so if that does happen again, I could throw the stock valve back on. But Who doesn't want the HKS? As I showed you, the HKS valve is on the piping. This is the last stop before the intake manifold. So all I gotta do, I gotta put it back in there. So does it come out like that? I have a couple vacuum lines that have to get connected. You gotta hook one to the back of the blow-off valve. That big guy over there has to go back on over here. Then you have these pipings over here, which I actually don't know what the hell they're for. When I got the car, they were hooked up to the different ones. There was one hooked up to this line, and then on the other end there was one hooked up to this line. So they were both basically venting to nothing. So I hooked them up now to connect to each other, so you have an actual like vacuum source. That's my T-fitting to go off to my boost gauge. Yeah, so let me slap this back together. It's a little clocked weird, but it was kind of like a pain in the ass to get on there with like the little snap ring pliers. So hopefully we all good. I mean, the hood should close. Look, you can't even see it from this angle, so. So let's start this thing up and maybe we'll, I don't know if we're gonna go for a drive. We'll see, hold on. Actually no, I gotta put all the wheels back on and I'm not doing that because I gotta take them back off to do the traction arms. So just get a garage rev for you. Alright, so that was legit all turbo flutter. I'm assuming that's because I wasn't under actual boost and I was just revving it, but I guess tomorrow we'll go for a ride and see if that valve actually works. I mean, it should work because I remember hearing it work before, the first time I had it installed. Obviously, you don't really want the turbo flutter because it's like, it could prematurely wear your turbo, but I think mine's already shot, so I don't really give a shit. Alright, so I want to thank you guys for joining me today, even though this was a little unproductive today, but we did get the traction arms in, which is a very good thing. Probably do that tomorrow morning-ish. To whoever installed the coilover, screw you, because you didn't anti-seize them. That's like, it takes like an extra like 5 minutes to do, and it doesn't give you problems like this. I wouldn't have had this problem. I would have been able to lower it. The lock collars in the back wouldn't be seized right now. No big deal. Like I said, like I showed you earlier, the picture, it's not that high in the front where it's like driving me nuts. So I did like simple touch here and there. Got that done. Looks a lot cooler that way. It'll probably look pretty cool behind the wheel once the wheel's mounted back up. Put the HKS blow-off valve on finally. If anyone has a motor swapped S14, I guess. I don't know if you could help me out with if you know how to get the tachometer and the speedometer to work, because I've messed with the ECU, not really the ECU. I've messed with, I pulled out the cluster and ran a wire directly from the ECU to the back of the cluster. No luck, so the speed sensor on the transmission could be shot, so that could be the speedometer, which I'm not as concerned about the speedometer, but I do want a tachometer, which is, could tell if I'm gonna blow my engine up by redlining it or past redline. Yeah, if anyone has any tips or a video they could direct me to, website, something. I have searched the forums and the things people tell you to check haven't worked, so maybe I gotta order a new cluster. But anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll have another video out very shortly doing the traction arms in the rear of the car, right down there. Then we get an alignment, and then we're like good to go for like fun drives. Right now I've been like taking it easy, but oh yeah, maybe tomorrow we'll get a drive with the HKS and see if it actually works, or we just get straight turbo flutter, in which case I might swap the stock one back in. I don't know. Thanks for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one.